The Galactic Military Exchange Program was meant to foster understanding between species. Instead, it had become Instructor Kravex's personal laboratory for breaking the infamous human stubbornness. Cadet Maria Vasquez stood with 90 other species military candidates in the gravity chamber of the Nexus training station. At 1.5 times standard gravity, half were already on their knees. At 2 times, only 20 remained standing. At 3 times, Earth normal, only Maria stood relaxed, checking her fingernails with apparent boredom. Impressive, Kravex admitted, his chitinous form unaffected by the gravity changes due to his exoskeleton. But gravity is just the beginning. The Thraxian instructor was legendary, 8 feet of armored muscle and tactical genius, who had never failed to break a student in 30 years. He'd made the proud Eltarians weep, reduced broken warriors to begging for mercy. The human would be no different. Pain, he announced to the reassembled class, is the universal teacher. Through pain, we learn our limits. Through limits, we learn our place. Today, you will all learn. The first test was neural disruption, direct stimulation of pain receptors without physical damage. Most species tapped out at level 3. The Krovar warrior, famous for their endurance, lasted until level 6 before collapsing. Maria reached level 8 before she spoke. Is this supposed to hurt? Kravex increased it to 9. She yawned. At level 10, maximum setting, she was gritting her teeth but still standing. I've had worse period cramps, she muttered. The class gasped. Several species didn't even have a concept for what she just described. Impossible, Kravex snarled. No one withstands level 10. Maria shrugged. I gave birth to twins without anesthesia because the hospital was bombed during the Mars uprising. This is just Tuesday. The thermal endurance chamber came next. Freezing temperatures that would crystallize most species' blood. Maria stood there, shivering but upright, and started doing squats to stay warm. My grandmother survived the Siberian wilderness for 3 weeks after a transport crash, she explained to a shaking Eltarian cadet. She was 73. Said the secret was to keep moving and think warm thoughts about your enemies burning in hell. When Kravex switched to extreme heat, Maria simply stripped to regulation minimums and meditated. Arizona desert training, she said. 2 weeks, no shade structures allowed. This at least has climate control. Kravex was beginning to understand something terrifying about humans. Every other species evolved to avoid pain, developing better defenses, faster reflexes, stronger armor. Humans evolved by accepting pain as a constant companion and learning to function anyway. The psychological torture chamber was his last resort. Each candidate faced their greatest fear in vivid hallucination. The broken fled from images of dishonor. The Eltarian broke seeing their colony burn. Maria stood in a simulation of her daughters dying, watching it loop over and over. Tears streamed down her face, but she didn't move, didn't speak to make it stop. After an hour, Kravex himself shut it down. Why? He demanded. Why didn't you surrender? Because, Maria said, wiping her eyes, I've already lived through losing them once in reality. They died in the bombing. This pain? I carry it every day. You can't hurt me with what I've already survived. The room fell silent. Even Kravex stepped back. You want to know about human pain tolerance? Maria continued, her voice steady. We have a word, widow, for those who lose spouses. Orphan for children who lose parents. We have no word for parents who lose children because that pain is considered unspeakable. Yet we speak it. We survive it. We wake up the next day and continue. She looked around the room at the alien faces. Every human in space chose to leave Earth knowing they might die horribly. We calculate that risk against staying safe and choose danger. We have a saying, Pain is temporary, pride is forever. But you got it wrong, Instructor. Kravex found himself asking. How? Maria smirked, the expression that would haunt him for years. Pain isn't the lesson. Pain is just the tuition. The lesson is that we can take it, process it, and turn it into strength. You thought pain would teach me my limits. Instead, it reminded me I don't have any that matter. She walked to the exit, paused, and looked back. Tomorrow's class should be interesting. I heard we're doing endurance running. I ran a marathon with a broken foot once. 1, 2. As the door closed behind her, Kravex updated his report to the Galactic Military Council with trembling claws. Humans don't conquer pain. They befriend it. Recommendation: never engage in attrition warfare with Earth. They've turned suffering into a competitive sport.